Who's gonna melt my heart? Who can understand?
The measure of a man has no price. This love costs too much, a huge sacrifice.
And that's what happened to Soldier Love.
Okay.
Soldier Love is actually the name of the track. And he was like, my homeboy just passed away. I'm really stressed out about that. And I want you to write a song that addresses that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It was easy to do because I have a sister. Well, she passed away 4 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
And she was 35. And she died of breast cancer. And I had really never grieved her passing.
Yeah.
Because 18 months earlier, I had a daughter, and my daughter died. And it was my sister who consoled me for my daughter's passing. And then, like 3 months after my daughter passed away, my sister was like, you know what? I had this lump on my breast. It shouldn't be nothing. Then it was like, you know, it's breast cancer. And before I knew it, she was gone. I'm like, what?
Wow.
And so I wear a lot of hats and a lot of masks. And so I really couldn't grieve the death of my daughter because I had to go back and be Dr. Stephanie.
Yeah.
And I had to go back and be First Lady Reed. And I'm like, I can't because people are expecting me to be these different people.
Yeah.
So when I first heard the track without the music, I would cry just by hearing the track because it had that subtle choir sound in the background. Did you hear it?
I did, yeah.
And so that I would just be boo-hoo, and he'd be like, Queen, you all right? I'm like, no, I'm not all right. And at first, I couldn't grasp what I was grieving from. Was it my daughter? Was it my sister? Which one was it? And I think it was all of it. It was all of it. And so when I finally was able to write the lyrics to that song, he was like, Queen, the lyrics aren't believable. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
So he said, I'm going to turn the lights off, and I want you to really feel, because I'm so used to wearing a mask, my emotions were so deep, I couldn't pull them out to express them. He's like, so I'm going to turn the light off, I'm going to leave you by yourself, you got to cry, and he come back, and I'd be like, he'd be like, you good.
Yeah.
And then that's how Soldier Love came out.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, that was emotion I didn't know was there.
Yeah.
And one of my best lines is,
How can I play the part in a role you won't see? Eternity is real, it's deep, infinite, and forever.
you know, I can't be a big sister anymore because you're not here.
Yeah.
But I'm a dynamic in a lot of other things that people are being supported in, but you won't see that anymore.
Right,
How can I keep doing that and you can't?
Yeah.
Whoa, that was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I said, at a moment's notice, your smile faded. I felt jaded. There was no warning, just an awful groan heard for miles. Because when I heard the news, I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And that's another emotion that people suppress.
Absolutely.
We have so many losses in both cities, in Baltimore and in Philly.
Yeah.
My sons will tell you, yo, Mom, my friend, you know, he was on Broad Street and wow. And we hear it all the time. It becomes, now we're kind of almost desensitized.
Right,
We
yeah.
just go, wow, that's so sad. Oh, pass the chicken, you got the hot sauce?
Yeah.
And we never take a moment to settle into, what did that mean for me?
Right.
This loss is a loss for all of us. We just can't. And so doing that song allowed me to sit down and go, whew, that was an experience.
Yeah.
And so when he said, Queen, that's not believable, I'm thinking, I know what you mean. I'm so stuck in my mask, I can't allow these emotions to come up. But if my project, and it was funny, he says, what you gonna call this project? I'm like, I don't know. Fluid Emotionz. That's where it came from. Because that song made me cry.
Yeah. Wow.
That song made me cry.
Wow. Yeah.
And when I hear it now, if I zone in to the instrumentation and listen to the choir part, it will make me cry again.
Wow.
So sometimes I listen to the project and I zone out my vocals and I just zone into the music.
Yeah.
And hear the different instrumentation. I go, whoa, that's a musical genius right there. How do you put that? And one time I listened to something, I was like, is that a banjo?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how did you get a banjo? He's like, oh, you caught that. I'm like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Right? So music has its way of being so intrusive, but in a beautiful way. It's
Absolutely.
emotionally intrusive if you let it. And that's where the healing comes from the intrusion of what you're holding in.
I wanted to circle back to something you said off camera.
Okay.
About good music doesn't follow a format.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was something I had to learn. Because it started with me being able to sing and being validated by how well I was able to emulate someone else. And so if they say, oh, girl, you tore up that Phyllis song or you tore up that Stephanie Mills song, that was like, I did that, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't Stephanie. That was my interpretation of another artist's work,
Yeah.
and you approved of it. That didn't make it good enough, though. And it was good enough that I could emulate something that you're familiar with. And so that made it very difficult for me to want to find my own voice and to be comfortable with somebody go, you know what? You did that song. Who wrote that? Like, I did. But in finding my own voice, I recognized that I don't have to follow a format in order for my music to be validated. And I didn't realize that this is what I was doing until the project was complete, because I went back and on some of these platforms, you actually have to type out your lyrics so people can see what the lyrics are.
Yeah.
And I'm typing out these lyrics, and I'm going, these lyrics ain't rhyming. This is one complete thought. Sounds like a story. And so I realized that within my music, I was telling a story. And the story did not follow the hook, the verse, the hook, the verse, the bridge, the hook, the bridge, the outro.
Yeah.
That is kind of like the loose format of a song. And if you didn't write a song in that format, well, you didn't really write a song.
Yeah.
And so all of the people that I was emulating, whether vocally, I was sounding like them, but I was also giving energy to that format.
Right.
And that's what also made it good, because somebody else could recognize the format.
Yeah.
So I stopped listening to music in the late 90s. I started, some of my bands that I really like were Mint Condition.
Yeah.
Oh, Mint Condition. Woo! Jagged Edge.
Yeah.
Because I like bands. Boyz II Men, definitely. Who else? Vocalists. I really like a singer.
Yeah.
Like Anita Baker, Honey Child. Just sing that song, girl.
Yes,
like,
Yes, indeed.
right? And so, but I noticed they followed that format. And so I started saying, in order to be true to myself, do I have to follow this format?
Right.
And I kind of fell out of that because I stopped listening to music. So when I started writing my own lyrics, I didn't have a format to follow. I forgot it. So I just wrote and I just sang. And I'm like, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And so, because it sounded good to me, that's all that mattered.
Right.
And that's why I can truly say I'm just Steph is me. And I do something called singing.
Yeah.
Without a tag attached to it. Without a formal definition attached to it.
Yeah.
My first book was actually, I was published in a poetry book. And I realized that the poetry that I got this really nice crystal trophy for, I could actually also sing it. It was a song.
Yeah.
But I just submitted it and it was like, yeah, this is a really good poetry. I'm thinking, that's a song though.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of let the music flow. But I believe that when you follow a format, you lose the flow. And if you lose the flow, you potentially miss the connection in which the music was generated and birthed for.
Right.
Right? Because music is all about a flow. Now, you got to have a nice catchy hook.
Right. True.
Right? Because you got to have something for somebody to remember. So I think an example of that would be Fluid Emotionz. In Fluid Emotionz, you're just hearing my thoughts. I'm just kind of ranting about what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And then I bring you a hook in. Fluid Emotionz, stabilize. That was just an extra add-in.
But it worked.
Right. To give the song some cohesiveness.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of writing, I'm like, imagine the world with no division. I'm like, man, that would be a nice world to live in.
Yeah.
Yesterday, a butterfly graced my windowsill. We locked eyes, its wings flapped, my heart fluttered. How majestically amazing to have my alone time. Even in my mind, there's a secret passage labeled classified in my alone time. I don't think that's much of a rhyming right there. Didn't follow much format,
But it flowed.
Yeah, and
yeah.
because it flowed, you caught it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it flowed, you caught it. So yeah, that also takes me to which genre of music I sing. Honestly, I have no idea. But to put myself in a category of acceptance, for somebody can give me a pocket to fit in, R&B, spiritual, neo soul, whatever's gonna resonate with you to connect with me with something you already have a reference to.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't know where I would fit. And if I were to ever be connected with a major label, I think that would probably be a challenge. Where do we put this girl?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lady, woman, queen.
There you go.
How would you connect me? Maybe I've created a whole new genre of music that I did by accident. And maybe that's the design of why I do what I do now and at this moment.
Yeah.
You know, there's some things that I believe I'm not willing to compromise on. And the compromise is I just let music flow through me, and that's how I write music, and I just kind of sing it as I hear it. That's uncompromisable because I don't do it at will.
Right.
It just kind of, the Lord uses me, and this is what we got.
You don't do it like a factory.
It's not a factory, so if you give me some music and let me sit for a second, He'll open up a gate, and it just starts flowing.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
That's how it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned with changing how I look to meet a genre or to connect in a space that people can accept me.
Right.
Because I think if you look at me, I don't look like your artist. But what does an artist look like?
Right.
An artist looks like how they present themselves, and then you either like them or you don't.
There it is.
So there's really no cookie cutter for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does an artist have blue or pink hair? They could, right? They could. And pink hair might not be something that you resonate with, but you know what? I love that song, but you see her pink hair? And the next thing you know, everybody got pink hair.
Absolutely.
Right? And so I'm from the school of good music doesn't have to follow a cookie cutter because people don't know what they want to hear until they hear it.
There it is. There it is.
Right? You don't know what you want to hear until you hear it. And then you
Yeah.
go, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Or you go, you know what? I don't like that. 15 times later, you're like, that's my, I thought you said you ain't like it.
Right.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we can be programmed to like it.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you can be programmed to enjoy my outward personality. Right? You can be programmed to see me as a person who wears many hats. I'm not just an artist. I'm other things too. You can be programmed to really like my gray hair. Right? Because I love it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Because I earned it.
Yes, it
Fall
is.
back and watch me go. Dr. Steph, medicine to flow. You got to catch those lyrics in exhaust
Right. Exactly. Bars.
Boss.
Yeah, boss. Yeah, so I'm so comfortable with who I am. I think it'll work because people will feel comfortable with who they are without having to change. But change for what?
Right. Yeah.
For what?